Okay, welcome everybody to Speaking of Zane, October 15th. This is the 255th edition of Speaking of Zane. We've been at this for a little bit now. In fact, I think the very first Speaking of Zane live stream was August the 5th of 2018. So we were a couple of years even before COVID. And a Sunday evening, 2018, coming up on 2 years after we lost Zane, something compelled me to do a live stream, which I had never done before, on Facebook and talk about Zane. And that's where the whole Speaking of Zane came from. But here we are, October the 15th. Good to have everybody in there. Let's see who we've got. Do a quick little roll call. Daryl is in there. Daryl was the first commenter of the day. Hey, Daryl. Steve Shirley is in there. Hey, Steve. And Kathy up in Omaha, actually Papillon, Nebraska. Lori is in there. She gets the longest distance and the latest hour award for the evening. Lori, you should be asleep. You've got a little 8-year-old girl you have to get off to school in the morning. Lori is still in London, and we don't know for how long. She's prepared to stay there for as long as she's needed. She's doing someone a great service, a young lady who's working over there for 4 or 5 months and has a little daughter that she took with her. And she was going to need some help with this little daughter getting to school, getting home from school, and other stuff like that. And Lori raised her hand and said, "Hey, I'll do it." And that is where Lori is, still in London. They've had some transportation issues over there. You know, they like to strike in England. And they've had some transportation strikes. And Lori hasn't been able to get out and do some of the things that she's wanted to do. Although I think she's having a good time. She's certainly enjoying herself. And I know that little girl is endearing herself to Lori. But Lori's hoping to do she's got some excursions planned. She's got some field trips planned, and but it's been a little sketchy with the buses and the trains and stuff. So, but she should have plenty of time to take care of those things. But she is still there. Not sure for how long or when. I'm going over there sometime. Just we don't know exactly when yet. But for now, Lori will join us for Speaking of Zane at what must be, what, Lori, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30 in the morning. That would be Greenwich Mean Time. Let's see who else is in there. Ted Boris is in there from the beautiful little town of New Bern, North Carolina. Hey, Tedro. Ken's in there from Central Florida. Carl and Peggy are in there from Warsaw, Missouri. Got a couple of Facebook users there. Depending on how you join, I can't always see the name, but it shows up. If I went over to look at the Facebook, it would show up. But I got a couple of Facebook users in there. Matt Aaron is in there. Hello, Matt and Katie. I saw you guys had a nice little weekend getaway. That is always good. Terry Bass, my old buddy's in there. Terry and I go all the way back. What was it, Terry? 1981, 82? Tech school. We've got a nice little picture of you and I in our late teens in the hallway of the barracks there. Oh, Terry. Crazy. We are getting old, aren't we? I'm 60. I don't know, Terry, if you were a year older or younger than me, but I know we're in the same ballpark. Let's see. There's my dad in there. Speaking of birthdays and speaking of advanced age, my dad turned 79 last week. Happy birthday, Dad. I know we talked about it last week, but my dad, I tell you what, if I'm in as good a physical shape, medical shape, um, mental shape, drive and motivation as my dad when I'm his age, I will consider myself blessed because I am in awe. 79, that's only 19 years older than me, 18 actually. Um, but I admire my dad, and I think, Dad, you've got there's good genes on your side of the family. I think you've got quite a bit longer left in you there. Aunt Mary's in there. She's the next one after my dad, age-wise. Or no, did I get that wrong? I can't remember. I can't remember if it's Aunt Betty and Aunt Mary or Aunt Mary and Aunt Betty. I think it's Aunt Betty then Aunt Mary. Yeah, 81, Terry Bass says. Yep, we were in the 30, 30, 38, 82nd, 37, 82nd, something in the triangle there. Let's see. All right. Well, good. We've got a good crowd tonight. I sure appreciate you guys joining. You don't have to, but we've got a loyal group of people that show up to listen to me. I have no idea why, but that's the way it is. And I tell you what, I feel obligated some Sunday afternoons when I'm like, oh man, I just don't feel like it. I'm like, well, there's people expecting, speaking of Zane. So here we are. Well, let me tell you what the heck has been going on around here at the fabulous McDonald Estate and Insane Asylum. Had a busy week at work. I'm still working at 60. I've probably got 5, 6, 7, 8 years left. I don't know how things go like that, but I'm starting to really look at what retirement's going to look like. But I tell you what, I feel like I'm in my 40s. I don't know. We'll see. I feel good now. That's because I lost a lot of weight and everything. But I really, let me knock on some wood. I haven't had any health scares, any health issues, so I feel good. I don't feel like I'll have to quit working because I can't work. I'll feel like I'll quit working because I'm just ready for Lori and I to get a camper and travel or something. But we'll see how things go over the next 2, 5, 10 years. We'll see how things go. Lori says she's getting a lot of walking in now. That London, you're either walking or you're on the train in London, and she's been walking. Fortunately, the little girl's school is pretty close by to the flat they're staying in. But Lori still walks her back and forth. I would love to just be there and watch how that's going, but I know that they appreciate Lori helping out. I don't know if they've had some family members coming over. They've had some family members come over, I believe, and may have some more come over while they are there. But I'm not quite sure. But anyway, Lori is there until she's told that she's not needed anymore, I think. But I know she's got some things she wants to do while she's over there. And like I said, I'm going over there sometime. I don't know exactly when, but we hope to get back up to Mildenhall and take a look around up there and where we lived and and everything. And wow, what a great opportunity to do that. So we'll be planning that. Had a good weekend. I had some really good walk. I tell you what, I have grown to love my afternoon walks, and I walk every single day unless it's storming. And if I don't, if I can't walk for some reason, if it's raining, I just feel incomplete. I get so much done. In addition to the physical part of it, man, I can either listen to music if I want, listen to a podcast, listen to nothing. I can't tell you how many presentations I've written in my head, how many emails I've written in my head, how much work I've done in my head because I get an hour's worth of departure from this. And I got to use, and I have like three different neighborhood routes I can take during the week, and there'll either be a 2 mile, 3 mile, or 4 mile version. But on the weekends, I like to do something different. I'll either go to the cemetery and I'll walk two loops at the cemetery, and that's a 5K, 3 miles. This weekend, I've got a veterans park in Dallas, Georgia, I like to go to, and it's about 10 miles away. Took a little drive over there, and I walked a 4 mile on there. They have a half-mile loop in the park, and flat. It's just a great, man. You can get a really good pace going, and I usually meet some people there. But I had a great time there yesterday, and then today I went to a different park, one I've walked at before. I don't know if Lori's ever been to it or not. It's a little park here in Ackworth, right by downtown, right near the railroad tracks. I forget the name of it, but they got a nice walking trail, playground, all this stuff there. I went there and did my walk today, about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. But anyway, got some good walking in. Still, weight loss is still. I'm still at the same. I haven't lost any more. I don't know. I'm beginning to think if I can lose any more. I may have hit the bottom, 88 pounds, but I really do want to lose 90. Um, for sure. I just got to figure out how to lose 2 more pounds. But um, and my dad posted there. My dad got a really good checkup at the doctor's this week, and he said had something. He's 79 years old. Good grief! And look what he's done to that body over 79 years. I mean, um, the Marine Corps tore him up for about 22. But dad's walking 3 miles a day and has lost 11 pounds. I understand from my sister, and yeah, that's awesome. But all right, well, let's see. I tell you what, the thoughts, the prayers, the cards, the gifts, everything continues to come in. People have just been so genuinely concerned about us. I just had some folks text me tonight, checking on two different people today on a Sunday, checking on me to see how the heck I'm doing. Um, People have been great. We have the best friends, family, co-workers. My colleagues are absolutely fantastic at work. So thank you all for that. I don't know if I mentioned last week or not, but my friend Amanda Duggar has a nonprofit that she started some number of years ago, and she has sprung the nonprofit into action, and they are raising funds for Tyler's kids. Through This is their primary fundraiser through the end of the year for the last quarter of the year. Just a fantastic um, effort there. She didn't have to do that. Nobody has to do that. But we certainly appreciate it. And she checks on me every couple of days. She was like my work wife, Amanda was, for some number of years, and just a real genuine human. She joins us here periodically, but we have so many things in common. She has a little girl named Ellie who's the same age as our little granddaughter Carson. And anyway, but um, she checks on me every now and then. But we certainly appreciate that. We will definitely be having, a celebration of Tyler's life, an acknowledgement of the end of his life at some point. Get Lori back, we get settled, we get ourselves in a position where we're ready to confront that, and we certainly will. Lori has some ideas about that. But I tell you what, it has hit me pretty hard, as you might imagine. I mean, I think I weathered Zane pretty well. It was devastating, but this time around it's a different. I don't know if it's a compounded um, thing or what, but it has really tore me up this time. You can imagine how hard it might be to focus at times. It's just, it's just really has been a very tough period of time, more than you can imagine what it's like, what it might be like if you have kids, but it's just taken me a little more, um, a little, it's hit me a little bit harder than I expected I would be. Um, but anywho, all right. Well, let's see what is going on here. Oh man, I hate to report about the Atlanta Braves. Man, what a fantastic season! Winning what 104 games, and then losing three of five to the Phillies again. Um, Dodgers in the same boat. Dodgers got knocked out. I don't even think they won a game, but it brings up a lot of debate about Lori shared an article that I happen to agree pretty much. I agree with. Somebody wrote about the expanded wild card, and are you really helping like the Dodgers and the Braves that killed it this year? Are you really helping them by expanding the wild card and forcing them to figure out what to do for an entire week after they've clinched? I don't know. It's a couple of weeks or a couple of years in a row that's happened to the Braves now, and it's like, you begin to wonder, because baseball is a game of momentum. Baseball is a game of you get in a groove. You get. I don't know. Any team can beat anybody on any day, no doubt about it. And the Braves did not play their best, and I'll never make any excuses about that. But I just think the chase for the dollar again, uh, you know, raises its ugly head, right? More fans in, longer in the season, more games in the season, more revenue in the season. It'll become like hockey, where half the season is playoff. I don't know. I don't know what to think. If everybody's equal, you can't complain. But anyway, I'm sad for the Braves. They really had a fantastic season. Love, love, love watching them. They've got a great team. But I haven't decided who I'm rooting for now. We'll see. Tomorrow kicks off, I guess, the first games. But I'm going to have to recalibrate and see who I'm going to be pulling for. But when your team gets out of it, you kind of lose a little bit of the zest. But that's the way it goes. Well, football. I didn't watch a lot of football yesterday. I stay aware of things. I've got games on in the background, but I didn't really watch real close. I know Georgia Southern lost to James Madison. I did watch the second half of the A&M Tennessee game, and man, they had a chance. A&M had a chance, but of course they lost last week to Bama. Lost this week. Tennessee has 2 games they've lost now. But anyway. Colorado, holy smoke. I didn't watch that game, but I saw what a comeback by Stanford. It looked like Colorado had that one in the bag, but oh well. Oh, Terry. Oh, that game's tonight. Okay, I was thinking of on the National League side tomorrow night. Yeah, I may tune that in a little bit later, but all right. Let's see. Georgia won. Nebraska had a bye week, so Nebraska did not win, did not lose. So after winning last week, but okay, well, let's see. That's it for sports. My buddy, I mentioned last week, my buddy Rhonda, she joins us here sometimes. Her son Brock, who's 19, turns 19 tomorrow in Coast Guard basic training. They did get I'm here on a live call from him, but they haven't had any other correspondence. And she was texting me and another guy today, a Marine vet, and saying, I haven't heard from Brock. And I'm like, well, he's got a new daddy. I said, did you get the I'm alive and I'm here call? Oh, yeah, we got that. And I'm like, well, that may be it for a bit. But anyway, bless her heart. His name is Brock. Sharp young man. I've met him several times. He's come out to the cemetery with us for different activities and stuff. But he turns 19 tomorrow at basic training. So I'll probably send him a card. I got a note. I wrote it won't be in time for his birthday, but I wrote a note on my to-do list to send him a card while he's there. Maybe I'll put some perfume on the outside or something. What do you think, guys? All right, let's see. Oh, here's something kind of cool. I'm not a big fan of the VA for a lot of reasons. I think they got a lot of room for improvement. But they do have an initiative that kicks off tomorrow. I've shared with. I'm gonna look it up here. That's why I'm facing away from you. I've shared with my veterans at work. You guys know I lead our veterans employee resource group at work, which all that means is I'm the one that posts on the social media and I'm the one that has the loud mouth. But I shared with the team something that's coming up, and this is kind of a. I mean, even if the VA didn't do this, we do this regularly. We check on our buddies. We thank veterans, but the VA has put together something this coming week. Let me share my screen for you here, and you guys can go check it out if you want to. Let's see if I can find it here. There we go. They're calling it National Buddy Check Week. So they're challenging all of us veterans to talk to 10 veterans during this coming week, October 16th through the 20th. And all in an effort really to check in on your buddies, your wingman, your shipmate, your battle buddy, and just see how the heck everybody's doing, and don't take anything for granted. We've learned that, right? You can't take anything for granted. People hide things very well. They hide how they're doing very well. So sometimes it takes some purposeful action, and kudos to the VA for doing that. We'll see how it goes. I've shared this at work. They're asking you to take a pledge to check on 10 of your buddies. Well, that's not showing up very well there, but anyway, you get the idea. You can go here. Let me put it in the chat for you here. You can go to this if you. I'll stop that and I'll put this in the chat here. You can go to that link on your own if you want to, and just check it out and see what they're doing there. But basically, the same thing we do. We say check on your buddy. Don't take anything for granted. You don't know what's going on in people's lives, and then people don't have to have experienced some traumatic, experience to have challenges in their life. And so anyway, check on your wingmen, your battle buddies there. Okay, well, let's see. I mentioned I got some things coming up at work. I'm a little torn right now. Me and some of my Tampa area colleagues were thinking about doing a day of caring at my Warriors place on October 27th. So not this coming Friday, but the next Friday. And we still may. I've put the feelers out to see, do I have any folks that are interested? We've got some things we want to do to the wireless network, and we need to be there on site to do it. And there's still a little bit of hurricane cleanup stuff. So I pulled the group down there to see. But the more I think about it, I may be inclined to shift it, because I'm going down there anyway for the grand opening of the new My Warriors Place location at Punta Gorda, which is about 100 miles south of the current place. But if I go down, if I do a hurricane cleanup in Ruskin on the Friday the 10th, then I can do the grand opening on Sunday the 12th. So I'm thinking maybe I might combine the trips. Anyway, stay tuned for more on that. I'm definitely going to New York. They've asked me to be panelist at the Veterans on Wall Street Symposium, VOWS, VOWS, Veterans on Wall Street. Our company spot. We're heavy. We have a lot of customers on Wall Street, a lot of financial customers. We're a sponsor of this event, which is all about matching military members into the business world, into the civilian sector, and that's what I'm going to be a panelist about. I should get some more direction tomorrow on that, but they have asked me to go to New York and be a panelist on that symposium, which is November 2nd. So I'll probably go November 1st. I'll be on the panel at the symposium on the 2nd. Here's the deal. I'm supposed to be at the gala. There's a gala, Stand Up for Heroes, it's called. You can search it, Stand Up for Heroes. It's like a comedy thing. But it's not until the 6th. So I may go on a Wednesday and not come home until a Wednesday, New York City. So anyway, we'll see. I've got a new class of students starting on the 6th of November, so I may end up having to miss. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure it out. Anyway, but here's the other cool thing about that is my daughter Charlotte is going to be in New York around the same time. So we may see each other in New York. And if I'm going to be there over the weekend, she said she'll stay and we'll do some things. I have not been to the 9/11 memorial. So that would be probably the number one thing on my list to do. So anyway, so I'll be in New York probably from November 2nd through the 6th. 2nd through the 6th. So that means the 1st to come home on the 7th kind of thing. So we'll see how things go. But I'll let you guys know. I'll share with you guys what the heck is going on there. And then I'm also I'm hosting, moderating for our company a Veterans Day guest speaker. It happens to be an Air Force colonel that I know that I was introduced to by my friend Amanda Duggar, and he commands an entire training wing at Keesler Air Force Base, and he has agreed to be our guest speaker. So I'm either going to go to Keesler and have a conversation with him from his office, or we're going to do it virtually. He can't come to St. Louis that week, but I might be able to go to Keesler. So we're going to talk about that this week and get that figured out. But I'm excited about that. It'll be really cool to do that. And then I'll be for Veterans Day at my Warriors Place on the 12th. So hadn't decided if I'm going to fly down or drive down. I don't know yet. I'll figure that out. And then the next week, which will be, well, not the next week, but the week after Thanksgiving, I'll be in St. Louis for a couple days. Some work-related, veteran-related activities there in St. Louis. Anyway, I got a little bit of travel coming up in the month of November. Okay, well, let's see. Speaking of travel, as soon as Lori gets back, whenever that is, we'll begin planning what she's calling a gathering of Zane's battle buddies and friends, and anybody that care about Zane, anybody that knew about Zane. We're gonna get a cabin or cabins or something in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, somewhere in that vicinity, sometime next. Lori's falling asleep. Well, no kidding. It's almost 2:00. It's 2:00 in the morning in London. Well, we're going to purposefully gather together anybody who knew Zane, cared about Zane, loved Zane, worked with Zane, served with Zane, fought with Zane in the Tennessee mountains, somewhere up there next year. So next August or September, somewhere in there, and it'll also happen to coincide with about a year since we've lost Tyler. We lost Tyler on September the 5th. So that's the window that we're looking at there. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I tell you, I love Zane's battle buddies, especially. They feel like family to us. And if we give everybody enough, heads up, enough runway notice, then it should be a good a good sort of reunion there. Okay, hat of the week, hat of the week, hat of the week, hat of the week always has something to do with what the heck is going on here at the fabulous McDonald Estate and Insane Asylum. And because of the Navy's birthday, I put on my USS Constitution hat, old Ironsides. I don't think I've ever worn this hat. I bought this hat on the Constitution one year when I was up in Boston for work. I walked the Freedom Trail, ended up at the USS Constitution. Wow, what a fantastic museum ship that is. It's just incredible. Well, I pulled up. Let's see. Let me share some facts with you here. If I can find it. See, I don't always have everything ironed out and ready. Oh well. Anyway, old Ironsides, yeah, Constitution. So, hat of the week has to do with the Navy because it was the Navy's birthday on Friday, October the 13th, of 1775. Let me share here. You guys can read this. Let me show you how the Navy. I'm fond of the Navy. I really am. Grew up, Dad was a Marine, but we were on a variety of Navy bases, of course. The Marines are the men's department of the Navy, they say. I don't know. I shouldn't get into the middle of that, but I have such admiration for the Navy. Let me share how this all came about. There we go. There you go. So you can see on the 13th of October, 1775, resolution of the Continental Congress established what's now the United States Navy with a swift sailing vessel to carry 10 carriage guns and a proportionable number of swivels with 80 men be fitted with all possible dispatch for a cruise of 3 months. That was the request. How about that from the Continental Congress? And then after the American War of Independence, the USS Constitution empowered the U.S. Constitution empowered the new Congress to provide and maintain a Navy. Acting on this authority, Congress established the Department of the Navy 30 April 1798. But the Navy's birthday is generally considered, and it was declared in 1972 by the Chief of Naval Operations to be 13 October of 1775. So happy birthday, any squids out there. Our son-in-law, Will, is in the Navy. So I'm partial to the Navy, and that is why the USS Constitution hat, first time I think I've ever wore this hat. Certainly first time ever for the hat of the week for Speaking of Zane. All right, moving on. That slides us very nicely into this week in military history. I mentioned the Navy's birthday. Also, let's see, yesterday, October the 14th, for all you wingnuts, 1947, test pilot Chuck Yeager was the first person to break the sound barrier. What was the name of the aircraft? Let's get a little friendly competition going here. It was an X-15 was the aircraft type. What was the name of Chuck Yeager's aircraft that he broke the sound barrier in? I know that Ken or Daryl will get that. Oh, there's a Facebook user. I don't know who's got that, but Daryl came in a close second. Whoever the Facebook user is with, I don't know, technicality here. Daryl, if I'm Pat Sajak, I'm going to have to say that Daryl gets it because it's Glamorous Glennis. Whoever the Facebook user was had a little bit of a typo there. We're going to give it to Daryl. Although the Facebook user, let's make it a tie. You don't win anything, but it's a tie. All right. Well, let's see. Here's another cool one I pulled from October the 15th. So today, in 1917, Speaking of the Navy, we're with a Navy theme now. The USS Cassin, Cassin, DD-43, torpedoed by German submarine U-61 off the coast of Ireland. This was 1917 now. In trying to save the ship, gunner's mate Osmond Kelly Ingram becomes the first American sailor killed in World War I, and later is awarded the Medal of Honor for his heroism. He becomes the first enlisted man to have a ship named for him in 1919. How about that? That's one I never knew. You have to dig through a book to find that one, but that's a really good one there. Gunner's mate Osmond Kelly Ingram, first American sailor killed in World War I. All right, well, let's move on to our challenges here. Veteran Cemetery Challenge. Daryl had Jefferson Barracks. He, of course, visited his lovely wife, Wanda, and his Uncle Mart. It was his Uncle Mart's birthday this past week, and he happens to be buried at Jefferson Barracks. I've got my dad down for Evergreen, where my mom rests, and my Uncle Bob is there as well. Jim Miller, Jimbo, I don't know if you're in there tonight, but Jim visited St. John Cemetery, where his wife Deb is buried, and a number of his relatives. And he also swung by on his way home Omaha National Cemetery, where he always visits Corporal Dagan Page, Staff Sergeant Todd Vanderwerken, Tech Sergeant Roy Walton. Thank you, Jim. And then my good buddy Lanny Witt. Lanny texted me on Friday. I was at work. He's retired. I work. Lanny texted me and said, "Hey, what is Zane's headstone number?" I'm like, 1133. And before I could send it, he's like, "Oh, I found him." And I'm like, "What are you doing there? Where are you going?" He lives in Rainbow City, Alabama, near Gadsden. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He says, "Oh, I'm passing through. I'm on my way to what's the German sister city, Lori, in Georgia? The Bavarian village." Anyway, he was on his way over there. He may still be there. I don't know, Lanny. I don't know what you're doing over there. He's got a lady friend that he's sweet on, but I don't know if he was meeting her there or what the deal was. But anyway, got Lanny down for a visit. So if I total up the cemetery challenge visits, we had 6 for the week. There you go, Lori. Thank you. Helen, Georgia. Lori and I have been one time. I've only been there one time. We had a good time. I enjoyed it. But I'd love to go this time of year, Oktoberfest, fall Christmas time. That's when I understand it's the most festive, but maybe that's why Lanny went over there, Oktoberfest. I don't know. Anyway, so 6 visits during the week takes us to 1,011 visits that this relatively small group of patriots have made to veteran cemeteries. How about that? Wow. And had it not been for Speaking of Zane, would we be doing that? That would be 1,011 visits that would not have been made otherwise. But tell you what, I find those places almost irresistible now. They're my favorite place and my least favorite place. They are hallowed ground. They are the resting place of heroes, and treat them that way. And I love spending time there. Thank you guys for doing that along with us. All right, Thank a Vet update. Thank a Vet. We're in the business of thanking veterans for their service, or acknowledging their service, or striking up a conversation with a veteran or service member or first responder. They deserve it for sure. Here's what I know about. I know that you guys often will throw in, like Steve is doing in the chat there, we'll throw some in. But let me tell you what I know about Steve. Steve's a hockey guy. Steve thanked 5 members of the Omaha PD and 7 veterans. How about this? 3 Army, 3 Air Force, 1 Navy, and 2 of them were Korean War vets. How about that, Steve? Good on you, buddy. Good on you. I've got Steve's name right here. All I have to do is add 12. I'm going to make it 12, which I will add to the total, which will give me that, and which will give me that. Okay, so Steve, good job, buddy. Let me show you who else I have. Daryl had a conversation with an Army veteran called Melvin. Daryl, I meet a lot of veterans at Kroger. Kroger's my grocery store of choice. We kind of have Kroger and Publix to choose from here. But in St. Louis, it's all about Schnucks. And Daryl meets veterans at Schnucks. That's their local grocery store chain. So Daryl met an Army vet named Melvin at the local Schnucks. Jimbo said, thank you for your service to 2 Air Force folks when he went to the base this week. Katie and Matt Aaron were on a little mini vacation, and they had a conversation with a Marine Corps Vietnam vet. How about that? And I had an interaction with a new person at work. He's new to our company, and he reached out to me, retired Air Force officer, and he goes by the name of Stix, S-T-I-X. That's not his name, but that's what he likes to be called, Stix, S-T-I-X. So I met him. And then my dad had a Marine Corps vet that happens to be my sister's boss, I believe, at the bank. And then when my dad was at the hospital this week, he thanked the radiologist who, listen to this, he served 11 years in the military. Listen to this. He was Air Force, Army, and Navy. How in the heck do you do that? That's incredible. I'd love to hear his story. Is it a he or she, Dad? Radiologist there at Tift Regional. And then there's a physician assistant that Dad met who was a corpsman in the Navy, Vietnam vet. So Dad had a nice little series of interactions there this week. And if I add all that up, it gives us 20 thank yous for the week, 20 thank yous or acknowledgments or interactions or whatever the case. And that takes our count, drum roll please, that takes our count to 2,350. And we have a standing challenge to get to 2,500 by the end of the year. So we got 150 to go. How about that? So I love it. Several of us are going to, when we reach the 2,500, are going to pledge to make a donation to My Warriors Place. 150 to go, Ken. You got it, buddy. Okay, yeah. Carl puts in there. Carl, I had this in my notes. I'm glad you brought it up. There's 2 carrier groups. One that's there and one that's relieving them, I believe. I don't know the whole story, but I've got a couple of guys at work who have sons. One's in one battle group, one's in the other battle group. And they have both asked for, remembering their sons. And it's the hang on, I'm going to get it right here. I'm going to get the 2 battle groups here. Here we go. Yeah, okay. So the Gerald Ford. The USS Gerald Ford is to be relieved by the Dwight D. Eisenhower, Ike, they call it. So yeah, those 2 battle groups are posturing, positioning. One will relieve the other. I think that's what Carl is referring to there, but good stuff there. And keep them, certainly be thinking about those sailors and Marines for sure. Okay, let's see. So that was the total there. Let's see, organizations, things that's going on. Running to Honor. I'll keep talking about that. Our friend Aaron Bartle up in Michigan has declared that the Running to Honor 5K for 2026 is going to be dedicated to at least Specialist Zane Colby McDonald. And Lori and I cannot wait to visit Michigan. I cannot wait to visit Michigan and meet Aaron Bartle and to see the errands, and it's in honor the Michigan Fallen, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So, Aaron, thank you for that. And I was able to connect. I mentioned last week Nuzli, who brought Zane's sign. Oh, he took it downstairs. Brought Zane's sign down from Michigan to Georgia, and I met her daughter Oksana. And anyway, I had a little conversation with her online this week, and just a charming woman and very patriotic, and tell me a little bit about her story. And I look so forward to meeting her as well, and her husband. Let's see. Kelly's new book, My Service Dog's Place, is out there. If you haven't got that yet, mention the grand opening, My Warrior's Place, November 12th. And Reach Across America. It's not too early to start thinking about Reach Across America. We'll post some information because you all have a veteran cemetery somewhere near you that's going to be laying Wreaths. So you should do that locally. But we also will fundraise. I've got a team for, speaking of Zane, for I've got a website that I'll share, and for raising funds for the Wreaths for Georgia National. So stay tuned for that. I'm working on getting those websites. I got 2 that I manage that are part of the Reach Across America umbrella, and we'll make sure everybody knows about those. December 16th, coming to a veteran cemetery near you. Okay, well, that is it for tonight. Went a little bit longer than I planned to, but sure appreciate everybody being here. And I know some had to drop off early, but thank you all for joining in regularly, and certainly appreciate you guys indulging me as I talk about Zane and different things. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody right back here next Sunday night. And we'll see what the week holds for us here at the fabulous McDonald Estate and Insane Asylum. I'll look forward to it. And God bless all of you. Take care.